Okay, hi. Hi, global career students. This is Hot Tip for week 8. So, in week 8, we're looking at interviews and cover letters and what is the process around that. And so, it's an interesting module, and also we'll be covering self-confidence and happenstance in future models, and they all connect to this part of the course. And you're probably thinking, well, how can I prepare for an interview now when I don't have one, right? And can you effectively prepare anyway? And also considering, is interview skills, is that something that you really need to develop, or is it something that you can just prepare on the spot? Well, I can tell you that it's a skill and it's something that you have to constantly practice at, and not necessarily always waiting for an interview. Sometimes you can prepare for interviews in terms of the skills that you need for an interview in different ways, like putting your hand up more regularly when you want to present in class, talking to your peers, making that effort to really communicate. That can be a skill to help you in your interviews. Also thinking about, well, what is my career narrative at this point in time? What do I need to improve on? And to regularly reflect on these types of career questions can really help you in your interview when it comes about. So yes, interview is a skill development process. I can give you a little example of what I do when it comes to preparing for interviews. What I do is normally at least a couple of months before the interview happens, I actually research the company that I'm thinking of working for and making sure they align and their ethos and their strategy align to what I really want to do in my career. So that's the first thing. Work out how many people they employ, what kind of leadership model they use. I also look at their budgets and look at, how economically financial they are, and just kind of also speak to people that might have worked there as well, just to get a really good sense of what the organization's about. Then I actually look at who's going to be on my panel. If it's an in-person, face-to-face interview, or if it's online, doesn't matter. I find out who are the people that are going to be interviewing me, and I actually research them. I try and get a profile picture so I know who they are when I might meet them, and I can connect their names because I'm really bad at remembering names, so I know I need to really work on that. So that's something I spend a lot of time preparing for. I also talk into the mirror. So I have key interview questions that I know that are typically going to be asked, which is something that we cover in this course. And I actually come up with prepared answers to the questions, because this helps me with my nerves and my confidence when it comes to an interview. So the more you prepare, the more confident you'll be, and the more you'll be able to manage your anxiety and nerves. So, in terms of this course, it's not about you landing a job. It's about giving you the tools and mechanisms to help you prepare for when you graduate and you start really seriously thinking about what kind of career you want. You'll probably remember this course and go, oh, that's right, that's what we covered in such and such module. Oh, that's right, that's what we covered in global careers. So, that's why it's really important that you come along to tutorials, because that's a way of you to develop your skills and interview skills, such as communication, role-playing, to practice those interview skills, and also to prepare for their assessments for the course. So I hope that is an interesting hot tip for you of what I do when it comes to preparing interviews, and ask your tutors what they do, because it'd be kind of interesting to know what different people do when it comes to preparing for interviews, and also ask your fellow peers too. The more questions you ask, the more prepared you'll be, and the more you'll also be able to self-reflect and work out, well, what are some of the skills that I need to improve on for when that time comes, and time will come when you will be asked to do an interview. Okay, that's the hot tip for week 8. Bye.